in the fight, I mentioned, for instance, in the fight against corruption, we have not been unfamiliar with the many observations. Where all the efforts of paid education, and that's not only for us, because so many schools of public administration in the country, the ASPAP schools, Association of Schools of Public Administration, we've done a study of the graduate education in the Philippines, ang dami schools of public, nandito yung members ng PSA. I see right now si Chancellor Pando, all Chancellor Tando's partner, right? The point being that we have so many schools of public, what are we doing to address these basic problems of governance? Why do we continue to be among the most corrupt nations? I'm not saying it's our fault. I think it's part of self-assessment, self-examination. I have 5 minutes, but no time already. Finally, the next aspect of the identity crisis is studying institutions and governance. Okay. For the longest time since PA has emerged as a separate academic institute, especially after the DepAd, remember the phases of public ad, classic, development ad, new public ad, NPM, rated, etc., etc. Development ad in the 50s, we were already focusing on institutions. 50s, we were already telling them institutions matter. Hence, study the bureaucracy, next slide please, hence study the legislature, the executive, even the members of Congress are here, India, among others, the Secretary General is here. So the point being, we've been looking at these institutions for a long time. Tapos kung mapasok kung magandang study ni Douglas North, institutions matter. And everybody's talking institutions. We've been talking about that since the 50s. Pero ngayon, puso-puso na mag-aaral ng institutions. Pati tayo sa public at hala-hala, ito na sa Douglas North. Gusto nga nila, di ba pinag-usapan kung paano ba nila rates, kung paano ba ng kaibigan natin sa PA, Fredericks, and Thompson, etc. So, it is, in one sense, a crisis. I call it an identity crisis in one sense. Siguro, andyan si PA, pero patuloy, we continue to look at ourselves and say, really, the important role of our discipline. So, let's just go back to the slide, I'm sorry. So these areas, elections, consultation mechanism, citizen participation, including our maternity. The next slide. These were later referred to as the rules of the game, the pedagogists, and the Nobel Prize winner, the Douglas North, are widely quoted as a social scientist. I mentioned this to our colleagues at the Seoul National University. They said, you know that's so true. Because yes, PA has been talking institutions for the longest time. And we have been talking about governance for the longest time. Over the past 2 decades, I've been talking about social. So maybe credit to PA, and credit also to his interdisciplinary nature. The next slide. So I'm ending now. In this context, my discussion about the 4 emerging nascent crises, identity crisis, in positive way. Part, of course, of this session on self-reflection, part of this session on assessment. It's good for us to look back, look at what we've done as a discipline, not only NSPAC, but all of us, colleagues and brothers and sisters in the field of public administration. What have we done and where will we go to? That's why we ask this question, is there a Philippine public ad? That's why we ask this question, should institutions matter? That's why we ask this question about the importance of developing indigenous forms of pain. And those are 4 areas of the identity crisis, I think, in pain. Sensitive ones, perhaps. The study of institutions, perhaps, and also kailangan mag-planning ang PA. I will end up with the last slide that says that Philippine PA has been undergoing intense reflection and soul searching about its relevance and usefulness. So parang noong 70s, naalala niyo, yung Mido Group Conference US, where the PA students are also questioning themselves. I think it's good that we also look at that. Hoping to learn that way. So areas of identity crisis are the 4 areas. So I hope you get copies of these handouts are distributed. Western influence, disconnected and clear practice, the impact of the real world and institutions matter. All of these propose serve as areas of research and even contribute to the design of the research agenda. I end with last slide, that special invitation to you, as part of the third convention, we are also part of what's called the Philippine Society of Public Ad. We will be having a national conference. Maybe to follow through one of the things here, you are all invited, especially our graduate students. We shall be having a national conference of public ad in Cebu City. Do come there. Bumili ka ng ticket, and more as a ticket. But anyway, what we will do there is we look at, again, to give an opportunity to all graduate students who have done your dissertations, your thesis, etc., to be presented in Cebu City, to be hosted by the Philippine Society of Public Administration. With that, I can thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to the College of Public Administration for this opportunity. Mabuhay lang. Mabuhay pa kayo. Thank you very much.
institutions such as NCPAD. Just a few announcements from the Secretariat. We are reminded to kindly register and to choose the desired panels, your choice of panels, for today and for tomorrow. It's right at the registration booth. So if you haven't done so, please already register in your preferred panel discussions. We shall now proceed with the next sharer. Our next sharer had a 38-year stint in the National College of Public Administration and Governance. He also had a 9.5-year term as Vice President for Academic Affairs at the National Defense College of the Philippines until December 2010. He was also Dean of UP College Manila, now the College of Arts and Sciences, UP Manila. To talk about NCPAD at 60 in quest of a resilient state, we have at the moment, please welcome our retired professor at the UP NCPAD, Dr. Nestor Pilar.
Thank you, Faina. Your Honor, we have Avalos, Beba, Tito, Brillantes, Tintabales. Good morning to all. I have been asked to do a self-assessment, but I'll rather it in terms of a reflection down memory lane. But first of all, please regard the people at the table. They seem to represent generations. I would think that the first generation of public members. I think we belong to the second generation. And Dr. Brillantes, or maybe the third generation. And if there are differences in our points of view, I hope you will understand. Okay, I'll do a straightforward presentation of my PowerPoint so that I will not go beyond 3 minutes limit. So, well, that has been mentioned. I thought that the best way of giving tribute to the 60th anniversary of the college is to review the events from its inception to the present and perhaps point a future direction. My major thesis is that IPA or NCPAD and its programs of instruction, research, and extension have always been in step with global developments and relevant to the needs of its immediate environment. Okay, I repeat, my major thesis is that IPA and NCPAD has always been in step with global developments and relevant to the needs of its immediate environment. Well, the Bell Mission in 1950 was instrumental in the introduction of PA in the Philippines, and through the years, the teaching and content and methods took major shifts and turns in response to a changing environment. Teaching in the 1950s and the 60s centered on the triptych of organization and management, personnel administration, and physical administration. These were appropriate to government reforms, bureaucratic organization, and efficiency studies. Merit-based civil service, and modern budgeting, accounting, and auditing. IPA also embarked on institution building to begin with an interdisciplinary faculty development. And then it taught the public affairs complex, the public at the core of professional and social science institutes in the university in close interaction. But only 3 or 4 institutions went through. The Philippine Executive Academy, pioneered senior executive development programs. The Local Government Center pioneered local planning, RB, city, and regional planning. Of course, Europa was established regional agencies. In the 1970s, theoretically, new public administration was a response to a turbulent environment, given the rising poverty and political unrest, martial rule, which adopted socio-economic planning and integrated approaches, and administrative decentralization as a strategy of development. The MA curriculum shifted to public policy and program administration, as well as project management and local government capability building. The doctoral program, the DPA, offers specializations in social, economic, and political development. Research focused on the assessment of social development, particularly population, health services, and housing programs. In the 1980s and 90s, these were marked by political and environmental change. The fall of the Marcos regime, people power revolution, devolution, the democratization, and environmental degradation. Theory-wise, the influence of new public